Stronger together is not being weaker alone. Admitting you need to humble yourself is hard. Even if you can do it, it is still scary and takes effort. This is one of those moments to admit that I need someone else in my life. I often wonder why people think they are stronger on their own. While I myself do feel strong in my own right and enjoy doing things myself, I often feel if I were able to find the right person to bring into my life and me theirs, I would be stronger not in my own person per se, but in the joint lives of us together. Being me, but part of the whole. I won't lose who I am, and if I do, the relationship is probably not working, or perhaps it worked really well and opened me up to a new way I wanted to go, but the key word is want. Even if you do not act differently with your loved one, what you have with them versus what you have with yourself will always be different. Because no one is you but you. I always try to give what I can as much as I can of who I am so they can better assess a situation in which I may come to them or they come to me, and even just knowing so, they don't have to do anything which would bring comfort. For example, when I was young, in order to get me to clean my room, my mother would sit on the end of the bed with me. She didn't do anything. She didn't help me clean. She just kept me company. And to this day, just sitting in the same room with me or just being present in the moment with me can help me to accomplish so many more things. It's not because you're doing the work for me or I'm leaning on you too much. It's just your presence that inspires me to do more. Being a better version of myself together. If you can find a relationship in which there is a partnership between you and your significant other, it inspires you to grow. It inspires you to do new things. It inspires you to be a better person. It's not piggybacking on them. It's incorporating them into yourself. I mean, obviously, we all have our relationships where the relationship takes over all thoughts, pushes our lives to the side, and we want more than anything to just think about the relationship itself. Also, while these are not usually the most healthy relationships, I think because it's with another person that we are allowing into our lives and being vulnerable, I think we get more judgmental on it than if we were wrapped up in our jobs, the thing that makes us money, or we were playing a video game that brings us simple pleasures, and we got wrapped up in that in the same way that we got wrapped up in the relationship. I suppose I always question and wait for a legitimate, or better yet, an answer that rings true to me to answer the idea of, I prefer to be alone. When just like a cat or a small child, we all at the core value of ourselves yearn to be held, yearn to be with the comfort of others for survival and love. I've summed up a lot of what I think is the stigma for why people say they prefer their strength alone, others' opinions or jealousies. But what if that person was not clashing in those regards? Wouldn't it allow you to be strong still? The key to this is we are so scared of not having success that we pass by the success of a relationship that could potentially lift up our whole selves to become more successful. I watched 500 Days of Summer and intently waited for the ending because I hoped this author finally had the answer to why people say, I don't want a label, or I prefer it casual. I wanted to see why this backfires, and spoilers, what it turned out to be was not philosophical, but the simple idea of, I date multiple people, and those who I don't think I see in my life further than tomorrow are just that, casual. And those who might get more of who I am and a bigger chunk of me, they aren't. The character split herself between two or more people, never really fully committing to one or the other, but finally, when she decided without the others knowing they existed, who she felt fit into her plan the most, the rest were left heartbroken and unable to understand what just went on. Because the emotion and love and sex was just a filler for her to get her shit in order. I still want to tackle this idea more and definitely want to get more opinions on it. But I feel being stronger together is not being weaker alone.